be privileged to hear words from the Rosh Yeshiva of Yeshiva Tarvadas and Rav of Aguda of Madison, yisroel, reisman, Shlita.
My shver went through the Holocaust as a youngster, and there's something he always used to tell us. He used to tell us that when the Nazis came and they went through the ghetto and the selection and the transport and the work labor camps, he said that when the Tzara came, it was not as predicted, that some people strived, shone, you saw in them Yerushalayim, and some people just fell apart and were full of self-pity and were not an example or strength to anyone else. It wasn't as you would think. It wasn't the Yidden on the Mizrach Vant that were a source and pillar of strength for everybody. And it wasn't necessarily the local tailor or the person not considered chashuv that was involved in himself. When the Tzara came, there were people from both groups that strived, that shone, that were pillars of faith and emunah. And there were people from both groups who fell apart and were busy self-pitying themselves and not connecting to the Rabbeinu Shalom. This is something I heard from Yisroel Zechreinu Levracha many, many times. As a Rav, I've seen this with personal challenges. I know, of course, a much smaller scope, but when you have individuals who come back from a doctor, lo yaleinu, with a terrible diagnosis, or people who go through the trauma of losing a job and worrying about paying their bills and their mortgage, people who have different types of tzaras, shidduchim and other things. There are some people who deal with the tzara and the tzara with the strength of faith in the Bari Olam. It's a time of aliyah. And there are people that fall apart. They're just worried about themselves. They're looking for others to calm them down, to worry about their own personal comfort. You don't know a person until he's tested. We don't look to be tested, but you don't know a person until he's tested. Some people in Itzara become a Smidim. They become people who daven v'sikin. They become people who are makbid on being mavisedra, on answering amens. And there's some people, when they're full of self-pity, they stop coming to minyan, they stop going to learn. Rachmana litzlan. When Tzara hits a person, his goal should be that when he looks back at it years later, he should feel he dealt with it correctly. If a person has such a goal, then he behaves differently. We're now in the midst of a very difficult challenge. In the midst of a challenge that just seemed to come to us from behind, out of nowhere, and suddenly we're challenged in our sedarim, in our happiness with many things at home, in our learning, in our davening. I can't understand it. It's a shas tzara. You walk into a shul, a beis medrash, you have chavrusas, and they're busy schmoozing about what's going on. They're talking about Costco and talking about the government and the politicians, the mayor and the governor. In the middle of the Seder Alimud. That's not, where's the Yiddishkeit of the person? A Yid b'shas tzara, when it's time to learn, he learns more carefully. When it's time to daven, he davens more carefully. How could it be that people are concerned about a tzara and a tzara, and they sit with the chavrusa and they talk about all these narishkeit? It's the end of Yid, who when the tzara came, just fell apart. It fell apart. Where's the Yehudi Shabbat? Somebody who was proud to be a Ben Torah, was proud to count himself in the Am HaNivchar, When it comes to Shas Tzara and he goes to a Siddharim, he buckles down more. He shows up more. He believes that the Bari Eilam is Yeshiv Kenegdai. We have to wake up to it. It became this crept up upon us so slowly, so suddenly, that we don't even realize. We don't even realize. How could it be? Could it be? Could it be that in a Beis Medrash, during a Shas Tzara, people are schmoozing about these Narishkeit? B'Shas Tzara, a Yid takes things more seriously. B'Shas Magefa, David said, to be makbid on 90 yamains a day. Tzaddik be'emunah sayichya, to makbid on 100 brachas a day. Ashrei ageva hukam oil. Something like this happens, so we should be makbid. To get to shul, to hear brachas, to answer 90 yamains. We don't know if the Rebbeinu Shalom will cause chalila that our ability to go to shul will also be taken away from us. Who knows when and if it'll happen, chalila. There are communities where it's happened. You can't go anymore to hear 90 yamains. Without chazor sashatz, without brachas, you're not going to get 90 yamains. Tzaddik be'emunasa yichya, it's a schus to live with the emunasi, with the yamains, the yichya. A Yiddish man, someone who counts himself among the shleimei amunei yisroel, goes to time of difficulty and has a goal that when this passes, it should be soon. And he looks back, he should feel that was a time of chizuk. That was a time of chizuk. It's not that way today. Today, the hysteria made it almost like a sports event for people to discuss and talk about what happened today and what happened yesterday and what happened tomorrow. We have to put it behind us. We have to take it with the erenskay, with the seriousness which it deserves. Bishvili nivra ha'olam. Bishvili nivra ha'olam. When I get stuck in Avenue M in the morning in a traffic jam and I'm frustrated, I just think to myself, Bishvili nivra ha'olam, this whole traffic jam is just for me. Person wants to see if I'm going to get frustrated. The whole traffic jam is my fault. Blame me. If I go down a different avenue, I would go fine. If Bishvili nivra ha'olam, I take it differently. What's going on in the world today, we have to have the attitude of Bishvili nivra ha'olam. That this is here so that we can deal with it well, so that our hashkafa could be solid. And every one of us should have a goal that when we look back at this time, we should feel we were mechazik in something. We took something and strengthened ourselves. We took something and made something good out of it. It's a goal. It's a goal in any Shas Tzara. It's the difference between the person who falls apart and the person who is a pillar of faith, of emunah, of betachim. Things have gotten serious enough that Yidden, wherever we are, we have to begin to understand that it's b'shvileinu, it's so that we should respond, and that we should respond in an erlich way. Where people can't go to minyan lo yoleinu, they should at least, you have to daven be yechidus, should at least be davening a vesikin yechidus. Today vesikin is 7 o'clock. If you take your davening seriously, see, it means something. It means something. A vesikin minyan, a vesikin non-minyan, Mistama has the kaiches of a minyan otherwise. The point is that we have to be thinking. We have to be thinking b'shas tzara of the Rebbeinu Shalom and our connection to Him, and what it means to be a Fruma Yid in a world of billions, where everybody is busy with the hysteria that's going on. And I've noticed, the more someone is connected to the internet, the circles that are more internet connected are more hysterical. And in our circles, it's the circles that don't have it, it's less hysterical because you're bombarded a whole day with all this information. It was refreshing. What's the Shabbos I mentioned in passing, a run on toilet paper. And one person came over to me and says, "What are you talking about toilet paper?" I realized normal people don't know anything about it. Why should anybody talk about this? Why? For what reason? Australia. For what reason? The point is that we have to be better for what's going on. We have to be better. We have to rise to it. It'll pass. But we have to look back and feel that we rose to the occasion. I want to tell you about an incident that happened with Rav Palm. He suffered from a tumor in his stomach. This is not the illness of Seif Yamav. This happened probably 10 or maybe even 15 years before. They found a tumor in his stomach. First they thought it was food poisoning. At the end they discovered he had a tumor. And they weren't sure how to deal with it. So they took him to two doctors, two experts. Mishpacha took him, and they had very different ways of choosing how to deal with it. Rav Palm chose one of the two ways. And the Mishpacha told me that he doesn't want to explain to them or to his wife what his cheshbon is. Why he chose this over the other. They were busy, this reason, that reason, asking advice. Rav Palm just machlit, he's going with one of the two ways. So I asked him why he chose this over the other. Listen to a lesson. He said, look, I'm a chayla mesukin. Why am I going to a doctor? We're obligated to do a normal ishtadlus. I didn't go to any doctor. I went to one expert, I went to another expert. He gave me one approach, and he gave me a second approach. His approach involves more bittul Torah, and his approach involves less bittul Torah. It's a good ishtadlus. I chose the one with less bittul Torah. I'm yotzei my ishtadlus. I'll explain that to your wife. Oh, and it's a musar. There's a shas tzara. You keep your head on straight. Where do you go? You have to ishtadlus. You have to do what you have to do. He said, why should I choose the ishtadlus that's more bittul Torah, not the one that's less bittul Torah? We should have such a blick, such a way of looking at the world. B'shas tzara, lo yaleinu. But everybody has shas tzara. And this, we never had anything like this. You know, Torah Das is open 101 years, as they remind us all the time. They had to close for a snow day. They never had to close for a few weeks in 101 years. They never had to close for a couple of weeks. It never happened. It's happening. It's happening now. So what's our response? To schmooze about the latest news? Our response has to be to take it seriously. B'shvili nivra ha'olam. The whole world is in a tumult. But the Rebbe Shalom is looking to see what you're going to do, how you're going to respond. Kodesh Baruch should give us the seichel, the kayach, and really the frumkeit, to respond properly and make this a period of aliyah. Lanu, l'chol acheinu b'nei Yisrael, we should come through, be'ezus Hashem, gesundheit, but better people from this whole experience.
Just wanted to thank the Rishivas for Adracha tonight and for Torah Anytime for streaming tonight's shir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.